Hi guys, it's me Kianna once again coming at you again. Just keep in mind that I've done several videos, so make sure you check all of them out. Most of them will be cooking. Some will be also on some items that I picked up for May for Christmas. And also I'm going to be doing a special video showing you how I will be adding some additional things to some cheap boots and making them into replicas of the new Jimmy Choo and UGG boots that's out. That's $500 right now. So make sure you check out all the videos. Right now, I just got finished doing a hot Italian sausage and pepper dish, and that's in the oven, and I did a video on that. Right now, I'm doing a video on pepper steak. So what I've done is overnight, I've marinated my steak cubes in a Ziploc bag. And just FYI, always buy, unless it's extremely cheap and on sale, always buy your steak or roast whole. And just go ahead and take some time and cube it up. The reason why is because studies have shown that it's approximately for a whole roast about $4 cheaper if you buy it like that, whole, rather than have them cube it up. Okay? So you're going to save approximately about 25% if you go ahead and just buy it whole and then dice it up yourself. Now, as for me, I didn't do that this time because the cube meat was extremely cheap and on sale. So I didn't have to do that. But I'm just giving you a tip on how to save, to cut your budget almost in half. And if you buy it whole, just go ahead and slice it up yourself. It only takes a few extra minutes. It's not much. If you get a good knife, it literally will just slide through. Okay? Now, as I stated before, I've marinated this and just let all the seasoning soak in for 24 hours, and I literally can smell the seasoning through the bag. The seasoning that I used was some garlic powder. I used some accent, some adobe. I used coarse black pepper, and what else did I use? And if I didn't say, a little bit of salt. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to incorporate, because pepper steak is like somewhat gives you a memory of Chinese food. So you definitely want to incorporate some garlic into your pepper steak. Now, if you're not a garlic eater, that's fine. You can basically eliminate that. But to get more flavor, I would incorporate either some garlic powder or some fresh crushed garlic. As for us, we're going to be doing both. Now, I've already done my rice, and I will show you guys that. This is my rice. Okay, it's already done, and it's already fluffy. It's white rice. I don't use a pan for this dish because I do like to stir, and I like to incorporate other stuff, and I like to throw seasonings in. So I use a pot. No. Also, I like my meat to be extremely tender. So what I like to do is not only saute my beef cubes, I like to also add a little bit of beef stock to it and reduce it. And the reason for that is because you're boiling it, but yet you're not boiling it to the point where all the flavor is leaving out. You just want to add enough beef stock to the point where it's just barely covering all of the meat. If you put that on low fire, you're going to reduce it, and what that's going to do is not only infuse the flavors and also give you a stock to make your homemade gravy for your pepper steak, but it's also going to make your meat extremely tender. And I'm talking about tender to the point where it's going to basically flake off of the fork. You won't need a knife for this at all. This is also a good way to fix beef stew. So if you want to basically incorporate some of these ideas into making some really good tender beef stew, then you can do that. You smell that? Mm-hmm. You smell it? Mm-hmm. That's raw meat, but it's the seasoning that you're smelling. Mm-hmm. And what it's done is in 24 hours it's reduced, not reduced, but it's been sitting and marinate. How many minutes are you looking at?
5.
5 minutes or so?
Yep. Mmm.
Now we won't have to use much seasoning. So as you're adding the gravy and stuff like that, in that stage you can add a little bit more seasoning to taste. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to peel some onions. I already have some peppers peeled left over, which is tricolored peppers. I just thought that'd be more attractive for the dish. Some peppers that's left over from the hot Italian sausage with peppers that I had that's cooking in the oven. As I stated before, Daddy does not like peppers or onions for some reason. He eats it when he doesn't know it's there, so I don't understand that, but he doesn't like it. So we're going to have to do another step by taking some of this and putting it aside, and then I'm going to have to cook that separately for him. Go ahead and saran wrap that. Again, we're going to put this aside. It's already marinated meat. Some of that aside for him, for his dish. And at that point, it's not called pepper steak, so I don't know what you call it. Just steak. And rice. So I guess that's a pretty good serving for him with the rice and all. We're going to put that aside. Again, I'm going to cook that separately. And this will be enough for Nene, Pootie, and me. Again, it's going to reduce down to look more than that because the meat is going to flake off, which is going to make it look like it's more meat. And then also you have the green pepper, onion, and also the rice. So trust me, it will definitely, it's a meal that you can stretch if you don't have as much meat. Beef stew is a good meal that you can stretch like that as well. I'll probably be fixing chili this week on camera for you guys. And who knows, I may fix the beef stew as well. I also have a recipe that I haven't shared with you guys. It's called cheeseburger soup. And, bacon cheeseburger soup. And I think that a lot of people will like it because it is a winter dish, if there's such a thing. And it's a dish that you just won't come across all the time. Usually you have to go in certain restaurants to get this dish. I do know that Friendly sells it. And a lot of dishes, a lot of places like Bennigan's, somewhat on the middle to high class restaurants sell it, believe it or not. But it's called bacon cheeseburger soup. So I think I'll share that recipe with you guys this week or next week. So I'll be getting into some soup probably after this week to show you guys some chilies, some things like that, because they're good for the winter. And they're also good for your kids, and you can incorporate vegetables that they don't even know that's in there. So, now what I've done is I've taken 2 medium-sized onions, if you were looking. Bell pepper? I didn't use this knife to cut any meat, so I gave Pootie a pepper, which I know he's not going to eat, but it's pretty. But he's trying it, so we'll fish. He saw his pajamas on. He just out of the tub. Okay, so I'm slicing up some of the fried peppers, making sure I incorporate all the colors. Because that's the purpose of us buying this one, was for the color. What time is it now?
10:20.
Okay. Now again, we're going to make some homemade gravy out of this, but I'm going to show you that on the other part of this video, because I have to saute this meat up. And also, like I said, after the meat is sauteed and basically browned, you're going to add approximately about a cup of beef stock to it. Reduce your fire, and then you can just leave it uncovered. Once that's somewhat done, or once it's been reduced to the consistency that you want your meat, or your texture that you want your meat, then that's when we're going to go in and make our gravy. We're going to use the same pot, so it's going to be less dishes that you have to do once everything is all said and done. What else? Time is it?
11:32.
Now, one of the things I put in this is, it's called peppercorn, and basically, it's like hot peppers, but they're not hot. Does that make sense? Peppers, basically. Just like peppers are not hot, green peppers, but yet they're in the pepper family, it's the same thing. And usually, whenever you're dealing with peppers, most of the heat comes from the seeds. A lot of people don't know that. So if you exclude the seeds, you'll get all the taste of the pepper, but not the heat. So that's just one of my little facts. What time are we at now?
12:30.
Please, you have to get down. You cannot climb up there now. Okay. And I'm going to put this aside. And another secret I'm going to use, the reason why I didn't use any additional seasonings other than what I've marinated the meat in, is because we're going to add a packet of onion soup mix. And it's best if you use the beefy onion soup mix for this dish. So to stir this around, put it on the fire on high heat until it's all brown. Again, then we're going to add a cup of beef stock. Turn our fire down underneath of the meat and pepper. Let that render. And then go in and make our gravy for that. This is how it should look before it's cooked, before we put the heat on it. And now we're going to be on the stage of sauteing these flavors all together. So I thank you all for viewing. Thank you all for commenting, subscribing. And I hope you enjoy these videos as well as the others that I'm going to be doing. Be blessed.